that they have done is mixed races. In other words, mix the lighter skin genetics with the darker skin to create a mixed race person who then could be hooked in with the genetics and the mind control. Quite honestly, when we looked at a person like Michael Jackson, he was a tremendous mind control experiment. He was basically designed and created to see if they could control the black race. And they were very successful with him, because if you look at him now, he has no identity. He doesn't know what race he is, what gender he is, or even what species he is. He's completely in an altar of some sort.
Well, I don't know what.
Hey, what's poppin', Nick?
Hey, we've got Cold on the line. He's generally on at the beginning of the show, every show that we have. He is a partner to the show. And Cold, do you have any questions for Steward?
Mr. Swerdlow, I want to welcome you to the show, first of all. Thank you so much for lending us your time.
Thank you.
You just mentioned blonde-haired, blue-eyed people being easier to control, and I do have a question to ask directly about it, because I was just helping my little brother with the homework, and I had the fiction box on, and they were talking about another little girl that went missing. All the little girls that I ever see on TV or on the back of milk cartons, they always seem to be white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. I mean, that's connected to MK Ultra, right?
That's part of it, yes. Yes. Basically, what you're seeing there. And it's not just little girls, it's little boys like that too. Those poor children are used in sexual ritual because they have the kind of genetics that they can amplify in sexual ritual to broadcast to other people of that type of genetic structure. I wrote about this in my True Reality of Sexuality book. Sexual ritual is a major aspect of Illuminati culture, and that is the little girl Madeline that disappeared in Portugal several months ago. She was one of those also used in that. Jean-Benet Ramsey, another one used in this capacity. And so that, unfortunately, is going to become part of the New World religion, which is being imposed on the earth as we speak. And that is part of ritual ceremony, which will become acceptable at some point in the public.
The Illuminati's obsession with sexual energy, that's also the reason why we see so many penis-shaped buildings all throughout the nation, right?
Well, that's what a skyscraper is. You know, the phallic symbol is very ancient, and it was a part of the ancient reptilian religion that began eons of time ago. We see this in all ancient cultures. The obelisks in Egypt and the ziggurats in Sumeria, even the pyramids are kind of phallic symbol.
Now, I just read an article about a ziggurat that was just built in Dubai.
Yeah, I was just in Dubai.
Yes, and this supposed building, the structure, could actually hold 1 million people. What would you say that the purpose of this new structure is for, if it can house 1 million people?
Well, I would say absolutely two purposes there. One is that it's a massive mind control edifice that will be used to control these people. And the second purpose is for massive sexual ritual in order to broadcast energy from those rituals.
It seems like Dubai is becoming a more of an issue today, as far as it being on the media, and there's a lot of information happening. Isn't Halliburton located there now?
Well, they have offices there, yes, but you know the Bush family has very close connections with the Emirates, the Emir of Dubai and Abu Dhabi. There are 7 emirs who have the Emirates. They can conglomerated into the United Arab Emirates. And they have very close connections to Bush and other major elite people in the U.S. and Great Britain. And that's why Dubai is becoming the new global financial center.
Now, I've also read that it looks like Israel is becoming the new capital of the New World Order. Google is supposedly moving their headquarters there with their data mining facility?
Well, I will make a little bit of a distinction there, and I'll say it will become the spiritual / religious capital of the earth, because one of the global rituals that the Illuminati need to accomplish before they install the complete New World Order is to rebuild the third Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem. But in order to do that, they have to eliminate the Dome of the Rock that sits on top of it. And as your listeners may know, over the last few years, the Israelis have been tunneling underneath it, weakening the walls of the mosque. There's been an artificially created earthquake that cracked the dome, and the Israelis said to the Muslims that it was going to collapse if they didn't let them fix it, which of course they didn't let them fix it. So I suspect that very shortly there'll be some event that will make the Dome of the Rock collapse.
Now, what do you make of this data mining where companies will be able to create a whole profile on a person just based off of their searches that they do on the internet?
Well, they already know everything about you.
Yes, they do.
So this is just another, page on the file, if you will. Of course, whatever they tell you they want to do, that means they've already done it.
Oh, I agree. I feel that the technology has been suppressed for at least 100 years worth.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So basically, they already know everything about you. It doesn't matter, what you look up on the internet. It doesn't matter. They already know what's in your head.
I have a question. You mentioned that Dubai is becoming the financial capital of the NWO, and I definitely agree with you that Israel is going to be the spiritual capital or the religious capital of the NWO. Where does New York City play into it? Because I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind that the attacks on September 11th were a gigantic ritual.
Yeah, definitely. And the New York City, headquarters of the United Nations, that's going to be the global capital.
Correct.
And is going to have special status, and that's why Hillary wanted to be from there.
Right.
Even though she has no connection in her history with it.
Not at all.
Now, how do the Knights Templar, the Knights of Malta, the Teutonic Knights play into this whole scenario?
All of what you just mentioned are arms of the Illuminati. If you look at their pyramid structure on the back of the U.S. dollar, where it says Novus Ordo Seclorum instead of E Pluribus Unum, you will see that there's 13 layers to that pyramid, but the very top layer, which looks like a reptilian eye with a bit of a glow around it, is separated from the rest of the layers. And that
of course. Isn't that correct?
Mm-hmm. Well, it also means that that's the Illuminati watching over everything else, and that they are untouchable and apart from everything below them. But that first layer underneath them, that represents the Templars, the Jesuits, all the other major arms of the Illuminati that control their military branch and their control force.
So obviously there's this hierarchy and this compartmentalization. Where does this I come in? Is there a Maitreya, this satanic force that's going to be a one-person leader, or is there going to be multiple at the top?
Well, it's a very big scenario, which I write about in my Blue Blood book. Basically, we're seeing it happen now. We're seeing the beginnings of the Battle of Armageddon. They're going to recreate, or I should say, stage the events written about in the book of Revelation, make it happen so that people think it's being fulfilled in a religious sort of way.
I agree with that.
They will have catastrophes here and there, just as it describes. They'll take it literally, and then you will have a staged alien invasion. We won't actually see who these beings are, but the savior race will come and get rid of these attackers, and then the savior race will be shown as the reptilians, who will then declare that they're really our ancestors who colonized this planet a long time ago. And then they will have the staged second coming of Christ, which will be a clone of the blood of the Shroud of Turin. And he will proclaim the New World Order, his new holy empire. And basically then they'll have the whole